Everyone, it's Roger and James here from the DisKingdom Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be getting James's thought on the brand new Olaf's Frozen Adventure short, which was shown before Coco. We did an episode already on Coco, but we figured Frozen deserves its own little time in the spotlight. A short 22-minute animated short, kind of as a way of extending the Frozen franchise till the second movie comes out. It was shown here over the weekend. My local cinema had it 1 hour on a Saturday and a Sunday morning, which is I was at work. So it's like, and you got to see Frozen after it as the way of, because we didn't get Coco on time. So they decided, well, we don't want to miss out on Frozen, so we're just going to put it in cinemas with Frozen after it. So that's my only issue with this one. So what did you think of the short?
It was okay. It's just okay. You know, they pack in a couple of songs and they tell a fairly traditional Christmas story of like, what do people do at Christmas, and realizing, hey, Anna and Elsa never had a proper Christmas because, you know, they were separated all those years, which, you know, is a decent enough story and helps build the two characters out. But at the same time, you can only build it out so much because you're like, yeah, they actually really don't have any traditions at all because they didn't talk to each other for 20 years. No. So I think, you know, if you truly, truly loved Frozen and you love Anna and you love Elsa, then sure, it's a decent little 20-minute short. But if you're not like super enamored with Frozen, then it's completely skippable.
To me, the thing is as well, this is kind of goes in. I look at this short as it does a couple of things for Disney. First off, it keeps the Frozen gravy train going. It gives a whole new outfits for all the new merchandise, keeps Frozen in the hearts of all the kids to keep them going. I mean, because they're obviously going towards Frozen 2. Keep that, because it's just doing so well with merchandise still. So that's the cynical side of things. I think as well, just getting more content out there. I think they know there's so much love for these characters that they want to just try and do it. It also helps boost up. I think their view really is that it was going to help boost Coco's box office. I don't know if they were fully happy or convinced of it. So I think, you know, put Frozen in front of it helped boost it, because I'm sure that helped with Cinderella when they did Frozen Fever. But also, I think in the long term, this is going to be one of those shorts that's going to be played every single Christmas. And it's going to become a big family favorite probably year on year once it starts getting onto the television on the streaming services and stuff.
Oh, there's no mistake. The fact that it's 22 minutes long, which here in the States is the average length of a television show once you take out commercials, absolutely. This is designed to be shown on TV. And then on top of that, you know, they've got a couple of generic holiday songs that aren't specifically about Christmas. So there's definitely that where they can just be like, hey, we're playing some holiday music, but hey, it mentions Hanukkah in there, and you got some other references in there. Yeah. So it's not strictly Christmas, and they can be, you know, we're playing this for everybody kind of song. So I think you're right. This is an exercise in ticking some boxes off. You got some new songs to play at the holidays, and I guarantee you we will be hearing these songs, at least one of these songs at the parks.
Yeah, I mean... I listened to the soundtrack and did a review for it a couple of weeks ago. So I know I've listened to this album, I don't know, 30, 40 times. Because if I do a review, I'd like to listen to it numerous occasions to make sure. And especially as well, it only had really 4 songs and 4 variant versions of them, so it didn't take too long to listen to it. But that kind of time of the year, and that tradition thing with Olaf, that was easily my favourite song because it's fun, it's uplifting. Olaf's just learning about everyone's... And I also like the idea as well of that thing of... Traditions have kind of moved into the situation now of everyone's doing their own different thing. Everyone's got their own different ideas, different cultures, different people. Getting away from that, what maybe is like for me as British... Christmas was kind of very much, when I was growing up, everyone was supposed to do the same thing. And everyone had the same rules. Well, actually, as time's gone on, that's all got a lot more looser, as obviously it's been disconnected a lot more from a religious holiday. It's becoming, and people are, but then at the same time, you're looking and going, you're doing all this Christmassy stuff, but we're actually forgetting what it's actually about. It's this whole thing about it being just for families and getting together and stuff. It's like, well, you're taking it and you're moving it away. That's my own issue with Christmas as a whole, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually been a theme that's been coming out the last several years. I think, kind of a pushback to the traditional Christmas. But yeah, it's like you mentioned. I think That Time of Year, which is the song by Olaf, is going to be the keynote song. In fact, it's the one that got Josh Gad to sing live at D23, which is kind of cool. And it's definitely the highlight of the album. There's also a song with Anna and Elsa welcoming people to the castle, and they're going to surprise them with a banquet, which is, it's okay. And then there's also the song that end caps it, where they're like, oh, we did have a tradition, or we have a tradition now. Anna and Elsa have a tradition now, and it's going to be great. The tradition is we're family, and Olaf is family, and it's like our generic sappiness. So I'm really hoping that they're holding back the really good songs for Frozen 2. You know, the song that's going to make dads cringe every time it comes on the radio. So
it's that thing. I think I definitely felt with like that like big, like, we're sisters and we're in love, and as long as we got each other, we don't need anything else. It was a little bit like it was a bit like, in some ways, a bit generic, but also it didn't have any of that kind of. And I think that was the problem. I don't think this album's really. I don't think this movie has that big thing about it in that same way. It doesn't feel like it's got it. There is one thing I would like to say, and I don't know how it came across in the short, was with the rock trolls. There's a story that they tell.
That's
Flat in Hand or something. Listening to the soundtrack, there was like a traditional folk version. It's like 3-4 minutes long. And he's telling the story about the rocks, and I think the original. I think it might have only been like a minute long, actually, in the short.
That's right. I know which one you're talking about. It was sung by Christoph, and it was not even a minute. Honestly, it was probably like a 45-second. It was very amusing. It was a very humorous bit. But the folk version you're talking about, they did not play it all. It's not over the credits. It's not. So I haven't heard that. I don't know.
No, and I will be completely honest. It was my favorite track off the whole album, was the traditional version, because it's so does a folk song. And like you said, that whole thing about sticking grass up its nose, that isn't just, where that was, they're probably building towards that whole gag. In the folk version, it's actually it's a very nice version. So that was one of those things I had a feeling it was going to be missing from. I had that feeling when I was listening, going, this is really great, but that short version is about hitting that gag and getting it done and dusted and moved on. Yeah,
and I mean, that's really Christoph's only contribution to the movie. He brings the bell that they ring to open up Christmas, and then they're like, what traditions do we have? Oh, we have the tradition of singing about the troll, and then he's literally just not in the movie for the next 14-15 minutes until the very end, when he has to make an appearance because he's Christoph. He's the other guy. So heck, even Anna and Elsa are only barely in it. It really is Olaf's adventure. They tell you that in the title, so that's not a surprise. And Olaf gets some of the best bits. They even blow up another sleigh. So, enjoyable.
Yes, it's definitely good. I can't wait to see it. Yes, it's definitely on. See, I think, you said, you briefly touched on it in the Coco one, about people getting, annoyed about it.
Yeah, there was that. There were reports coming out of South America when Coco first came out there, because it launched, a month ago back there. And especially in that area, people were like, we came to see Coco. Yeah. Especially down in South America, which is a celebration of their culture, so I can totally understand that. But even in the theater that I was at, the little kids loved it. Yeah. The little kids are obviously like, woo, Anna, Elsa, Olaf, he loves warm hugs, all that. And then fruitcake and all this fun stuff. But parents, apparently there were a lot of people there who did not know there was a Frozen short in front of it, and they're kind of sitting there going, wait, this movie was supposed to start at 7, and it's now 7:40, and we're still watching Frozen, and so if you don't know it's there, I can definitely see people getting annoyed by going to the theater and realizing, oh, I'm actually going to be at the theater for 20-25 minutes longer than I expected. So it's funny because I don't feel like they really advertised this part of it, and it's
Well,
like you said earlier in the review, it's like this was probably meant to help boost up sales of Coco.
Well, to be honest, in a few weeks before the movie got released, as far as I was concerned, looking at how Disney were promoting it and on their social media, they were pushing this more than Coco at some points online, and they were really pushing. And people were going, "Hold on a minute!" They were, in America, there seemed to be that almost thing of going, "Oh, whoa, whoa!" Coco is the main feature here, not Frozen. But see, I'm part of the thing of I always loved the shorts. It's one of my favourite things about going to see a Disney movie. I'm disappointed when there isn't one in front of a movie. It's that classic. It's to me, having a short before a live movie. That's like always the great thing. It's usually a way of getting people. Whether or not Frozen kind of that the 22-minute one doesn't slide into that 3-4 minute like humorous little screen test.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
It's harder to say that a 22-minute movie is a short.
Yeah.
Because I think the more recent one was, the traditional animation Mickey in the old style, original version, and then they burst through and it's 3D, but it's got all the traditional characters like Bessie and old style Mickey and Minnie. That was only a handful of minutes long too. So, 22 minutes is kind of pushing what people are willing to call a short. And I think, honestly, maybe they could have cut one or two songs and tightened it up a bit and pitched it at 12 or 13 minutes. But again, like we said at the very beginning, this was definitely angled to be like, hey, it's Christmas time, so we're going to show Olaf's Frozen adventure like every day between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So
it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, God. It's going to start next year.
Yes. Oh, then, guys, let us know what you guys think of Olaf's Frozen Adventure. You can do that in the comments below or get in touch with us on the social medias. And find us on all of them. You can also find us over at DisKingdom.com, so definitely want to go check that one out and bookmark it so you can keep up with all the latest. James, where can they find you?
Find me heroiclegacy.com.
And on that note, guys, thank you very much for watching or listening. We shall see you guys soon. Laters.